Yo, Monaco!
Yo, Mills.
It's good.
Good. Chemistry's good.
Lecture
And so
4.
our learning targets. Yep. Lecture 4 in chemical bonding.
I see the word draw.
Yes, this lecture is all about drawing models of bonding using our ABCD method. So let's get into it.
Yeah. Okay. See those 4 things? We're going to fill those things out. Guess what they are?
A. For drawing your
C. Come on now. Same.
A is for drawing your atoms, which means that we want you to draw the symbols to represent both the nucleus of the atom and all of the kernel electrons. That's what that Na represents.
Okay. Fair enough.
And that's what that Cl represents.
And then we're going to draw brackets, right, which are those squarish looking things around the outside. And what those say is, my electrons, you cannot have them.
Nope. The charges are the numbers that we put in the top right corner, usually with a positive or negative sign, to show that the atoms have lost or gained electrons.
And they are now
Ions.
ionic bonding. Dots, of course, go around specifically the non-metal. And this represents the valence electrons left in play from the non-metal. And there has been a transfer now. Na, in this case, lost 1. Cl scooped it up. Cl had 7. Now it has all 8, and it's full.
Yep. And so we're going to just draw lots of
These. Shall we?
covalent ionic compounds. Yep. So the first one would be an example of a compound that has a polyatomic ion in it. That's what Mr. Milks is circling right now. This is calcium plus 2. Okay. And he's going to put the example version, carbonate, minus 2. So calcium and carbonate, calcium's plus 2, carbonate's minus 2.
And I would say that both of us don't mind if the charge is inside the bracket or outside the bracket.
Doesn't really matter.
Let's
but
just
it's got to
say
be
uniform.
in the top right corner somewhere, either
Sure.
inside or outside the bracket. So the plus 2 and the minus 2 are equal in magnitude. The
Opposite
2
in charge.
opposite in charge. So these 2 ions would cancel each other out and make what we call an ionic compound.
Yeah, very neutral.
We drawing these ourselves?
I think so, yeah.
I'll take the first 2, you'll take the last 2.
All right, here we go.
Cool.
All right, so I'm going to grab my handy dandy periodic table.
Lithium has a plus 1 charge, and chlorine has a minus 1 charge. So the metal's going to get atoms, brackets, charges, dots. We're going to get LiCl, brackets around both.
Yep.
Yep, it's going to make sure the charges are there and the dots. And the dots only go around the non-metal.
This is just the
So
same.
he's just going to redraw it real quick without all the arrows so you can see. This is what you're expected to be able to do. Check dots, my boy.
Sometimes, I just want to make a point, sometimes the dots aren't shown on the Regents exam, which is why I didn't show them now. But for chlorine, with the negative 1 in the top right corner, it's implying it has picked up another electron. You see that in the dots here, but you don't see it over here, which is why it's really important to understand what the ionic charges mean. Lithium lost 1 electron, chlorine picked that 1 electron up. Now they're equal and opposite in charge, so they get stuck together to make an ionic compound.
Sure, that is absolutely true.
Do the next
I don't think we want you to be in a habit of not including your dots, though.
No.
So just for clarification. So the metal Ca. Ca is a plus 2 ion. And so therefore I need 2 F minus 1s. That's what that little 2 is representing, is that there's 2 Fs. So there we go. Each one's going to have a bracket and a charge, and we are all set. 1 plus 2 and 2 minus 1s cancels out to equal 0. So we have our neutral atom.
Yep. Mr. Milks,
Sweet, take it in.
Yep. So this next one is going to have a polyatomic ion in it. The magnesium, off our periodic table, it's period 3, group 2. Group 2 ions are positively 2 charged. They're metals. They lose their electrons. This one particularly loses 2. But we need to combine it with
a CO3,
a carbonate polyatomic
Ding, ding, ding.
ion, which is over here. So Mr. Milks is just going to draw CO3 from carbonate. Let's see here. There it is, CO3. It says here that CO3 has a 2 negative or -2 charge. So the ratio here is 1 magnesium plus 2. A carbonate minus 2 would make a magnesium carbonate. He's not going to bother condensing it any further because it would be back to the beginning again.
Right.
Now this next one is telling us there's 2 aluminums and 3 oxygens. So he's actually going to have to draw 5 Lewis dot diagrams. And the aluminums
Or +3, right?
they are +3 because on our periodic table we see that aluminum, group 13, would like to form a +3 ion if possible. And oxygen, group 16, forms a -2 ion if at all possible. So since we have 2 Al +3s, that means there's a +6 total on one side, and we need a -6 combined on the other side. And so that means we've got 3 O -2 ions to balance it out. So that's where the formula comes into play. So we just took these formulas and broke them out into the ions individually that are used to make them.
And every one of them needs to be represented.
Mhm.
And there really is no rhyme or reason to which one goes first, as long as they're all there. If you decide to go O, Al, Al, O, we're good.
Sure. Right. I just want to see that you can put an atom symbol with brackets around it, include the ionic charges that are recited on the periodic table of elements or reference table
E. When in doubt, check E out.
and make sure that at the end, all your positive values are canceled out by negative values. So if
Right.
you had a +5, you better have 5 negatives on the other side. And otherwise, it's not a compound, it's still an ion, and it wouldn't really exist in nature.
Right. And the dots all need to go on just the non-metals. And
Mhm.
notice all the octets are always full.
Yes.
Because why, of course, do we bond? To form.
full octets.
There you go. And that might be.
Let's see. If
Let's find that
well,
button.
that's all, folks. I'm gonna find a button and turn off this here video.
Why don't you go ahead and do that?
You're gonna find this here button, turn it off. There it is.